Good morning. I'm Karen Yankovich, and this is a Link Up Your Marketing, and I am live today on my Facebook group, which if you're not a part of, you should totally join us at LinkedInForWomenCommunity.com. I am live on LinkedIn and YouTube, so if you're watching me on the replay, just drop in your questions and comments, and I will, of course, get back to you. If you're watching live, feel free to jump into the conversation because we can brainstorm for whatever you want to brainstorm. So I've kind of committed to going live more often here for a couple of reasons, but honestly, for me, I think it's more in line with what I teach and who I am and how I like to show up. I think that it gives me the opportunity to interact with you, which is my favorite thing to do. I'm really not a Canva person, and I've hired people to do that, and just never really felt like it was in line with what I want to teach. So anyway, you're going to see me live here more often because really it's just, for me, it's the best way for me to connect with you, which is what we're all on LinkedIn to do, right? So if you're watching this and you think it's going to be valuable because you've watched my other ones, please share this out with your network because it helps us both get more visibility, because of course I will tag it if I see it, and then that's how that all works, right? That virality works. So I would love for you to share this with your network, because this is a kind of a fun thing, something that most people don't know about LinkedIn. I'm calling this, what am I calling this? Wild Wednesday or Wacky Wednesday or something. I don't know. But it's something that you might not have even known existed on LinkedIn. So I'm going to shine a light on it today. Speaking of shining a light, I actually considered shifting. Well, let me talk about this first, and then we'll cover what I want to cover at the end of this. So years ago, LinkedIn had the ability to create a resume from your LinkedIn profile. And if you went to like resume.linkedin.com or something like that, it took you there. And then it just disappeared. And I got to tell you, like, I, in my life, have never needed a resume to get a job. But I know that that's not always true for people. And I still, to this day, sometimes get asked for resumes. I got asked a couple months ago. That's actually how I discovered this was back, because I got asked a couple months ago for a speaking engagement that I was going to be doing for a copy of my resume. I was like, what? Like, do you want me to teleport myself back to 1970, like 1980? Well, like what? Like, can't you just look at my LinkedIn profile? But they wanted a resume. It was a question, a required upload to a speaker application I was completing. So I had to do it. So I was like, all right, let me see what I intended to do was go over to LinkedIn and save my profile as a PDF. Which we've always been able to do, but it's, obviously it's full of stuff, right? So it's not necessarily really great for a resume, but at least it was going to give me something to upload, because I didn't care enough about the speaking engagement to create an entire resume for it, right? But, again, at the end of the day, if I could come up with something that would give me that upload to do for that required space and not have to, have to create a resume for it, I was all in for that. I'm all about the ease, right? All about making this simple, all about making, finding the opportunities, but also building in, I'm not working 25 hours a day. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me share my screen here. Because you may have an opportunity where you need to create a resume for something, even if it seems crazy that they want to write it. Like, people say to me, I don't give resume. I don't do that anymore. Yeah, me either. But guess what? Sometimes an opportunity might come up where you might need a resume. So love that my friends Kapu and Jody come up on this on the top of my wall. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to my profile. So we're going to go to view profile. And now you're looking at my profile. And if you go to this more section, you see where it gives you the option here to save as a PDF. That's what my intention was to do. I was going to go in here and save this as a PDF. And if you click that, you can see the PDF is downloading. But I was like, wait, what does this mean, build a resume? So I went to here. And as you can see, I tested this morning, but I've created, every time you say create from profile, you get this happens, right? But I'm going to click create from profile. Let's get rid of this. Not really, I don't have a desired job title. Oh, I guess I could say, let's try a keynote speaker. Let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to go with keynote speaker. Please select the standard title. Okay, so now you can't just select any title. Let's just try speaker. All right, we're going to just try speaker. Interesting. Professional. I'm going to go with professional speaker. Okay. So I don't know what that's going to do, but it says it's going to get me more things, like suggested keywords here, right? So here's some suggested keywords that this comes out. So it may suggest I do that, but you see here how it gave me this formatted resume, right? so if I go here, I still have the options to do these things, but I can see your resume is only visible to you. So let's just cancel this. And I can edit it, right? I can edit it and change it. And it's not changing my LinkedIn profile, right? It's just changing the resume. I'm sorry, you guys, I have allergies and they're obviously giving me a hard time today. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. And then it shows my experience, and you can see I can edit all of that. I can delete sections. Like, let's say I'm like, oh, nobody cares about this, right? I can delete this section from it. You sure you want to delete this experience? Yes. So if you see here, you can mess with this. I don't have this, so that will appear in my resume. The skills will, like, so do you see how you can kind of rearrange this? And then, of course, you can preview it. And this is what would get saved, right? And like, let's just say this went over to page 4, like skills went over to page 4, I could delete something else, right? So you get to play with it a little bit. And then, how do I get out of this? We're just gonna click back over here. Okay. And then you see I can download it as a PDF. And then I have this PDF as a resume. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that we have the ability to do this again now. Again, I don't think you need to do this a lot. I mean, I think for the most part, most of us don't need resumes anymore. But if you do, or if you have kids or colleagues or whatever who are working on their resume, know that they can do this too. They can download their LinkedIn profile as a resume. So just know that this exists if you ever need it. Like, you never, ever, ever have to. First of all, if you have an updated LinkedIn profile, you always have an updated resume, right? How cool is that? Right? So that's number one. And then the other thing is you don't have to keep it. You don't have to do anything about it. It's just always here. You know what I mean? You can just download it on demand. So very, very cool. So I want to talk a little bit about what you're going to put on your profile, because this came up yesterday and I just felt like I needed to talk about this. So I'm going to go off the rails a little bit here just a second, just so you know, because I think it's important. So when you're creating a resume or when you're creating a LinkedIn profile, you want to shine a light on your best self, right? You want to shine a light on your best self. People want to hire you because you are the best at what you do, right? And especially women, which is why I focus on supporting women on LinkedIn, often we are not encouraged to shine a light on how great we are, right? And this came up because, let's get real, let's talk about Simone Biles for a second. Simone Biles is doing skills that no one has ever done before. And instead of people saying, let's shine a light on this, they're saying, well, we're not going to give you all the points for this because other people are not going to be able to be as good as you are. How crazy is that? And you know what? We knew this. We knew this before yesterday. We knew this last month, right? I was actually watching last night. So yesterday morning, we saw the news, right? That's I didn't watch it at 6 o'clock in the morning. But last night I did watch it. And before Simone Biles came on, and obviously this was all recorded in the morning, I noticed, sorry, NBC, but I'm going to pick on you for a second. What the NBC anchors were doing were picking on everything she's done wrong in the last few months. This is a woman who has taken the sport of gymnastics to heights that no one has ever taken it to before. And instead of shining a light on and saying, I can't wait to see her double plank on the vault or whatever that was, they were saying, oh, but look at this, she stepped out of bounds 3 months ago. Like, everything they talked about, NBC, I hope you rewatch this, because watching it last night after we knew she left for her mental health reasons was really pretty sickening to me. To watch them tearing this woman apart, right? Before and now we already know they won't allow her to get the points that she should get for these skills that nobody else can do, right? So obviously this is not the Simone Biles show, but I do think that this is what happens to women, especially women of color, right? We're not expected to, and when I say we, I'm not a woman of color, but we as women are not expected, or it's expected that we downplay our achievements and people talk about all the things we've done wrong instead of shining a light on we do right. And you know what? Good on you, Simone, because not only, and I think this is the part that I'm not seeing enough news about, not only did she step down for her own mental health and frankly for her physical health, because if she's in a sport where if her brain isn't in the right place, she's going to get hurt, right? But also she knew she was smart enough to know that if she continued to get these low scores, it was going to bring the whole team down. Okay. So rather than push her way through it, she stepped aside and is lifting up the other women on her team. Okay, it isn't the Simone Biles show. She is brilliant enough, and she's enough of a leader to know, screw all of you. I can't do this because I'm going to get hurt and my blah, 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 blah. And you're all, and what's more important to me is my physical and mental well-being and what I can do for my team. So I'm telling you this because to me, it all ties right in with what I do here with my podcast, Good Girls Get Rich. And with this, I want us to shine lights on each other. I want you to shine a light on your genius, on your LinkedIn profile, on your resume, but also on the people around you. Okay. And let's find 10 things about smart women today that we can shine a light on and congratulate them for, instead of looking for the places they went out of bounds. Okay. So I know this went a little off the rails from what I initially intended, but I just felt like it had to be said. So as I'm saying this, I'm thinking this might be a whole podcast episode because I feel like it needs to happen. Anyway, I will be back here again soon with another thing. I hope you go back and just remember this resume tip exists. You don't have to watch. You don't have to, you don't have to do anything with it right now until you need it. But just know that it's there when you need it. All right. All right. All right, everyone. Have a fabulous day, and I will see you back again here soon.